Hi girls. Okay, so just a quick one on the spikes. I'm hoping that might help. I don't know how obviously most of you girls do them, or how many you use, etc. But this is just a quick one showing you how to do it for like a 5-inch bow. So all these spikes are cut in 5 inches. They are one main ribbon and then 3 lots of plains. Now the effect I'm going for is like this, so it would just have the one across the middle and obviously just a plain fan around the edge. So for it, flip the main ribbon over, because obviously that's going to be in the middle, and then you just layer. Now I'm using 7 ribbons for this 5-inch one, so it'd be one plain one, like one main, sorry, one, and then 6 plain. And to do that you can lay them out quite evenly, so they will end up looking like this, so they'll be quite even, and you'll get to see each colour quite nicely. So just literally lay down and then you do it tip to tip, so you've got no overlay or anything, just make sure that that tip's connected, that point's connected. Lay the other one on top. Again, make sure they're just connected, and if they move you can obviously just move them slightly to fit. And they haven't got to be perfectly perfect right now, but you can either cut and heat seal them beforehand or do it after. It's entirely up to you. It depends on how confident you are to be able to heat seal them and cut them after you've sort of sewn and glued and whatnot, because obviously if you then do make a mistake you've obviously completely screwed the full fan. So you can either do that beforehand and then just do this as after, it's up to you. So basically lay them out depending on what your pattern is, so you always make sure you have an odd number, but to make sure that you see the majority of them, try and do 7 for a 5-inch, or I personally like a 7 for a 5-inch. Now yes, I have got a needle and thread. Most people don't like using them, but I always have one, especially for ones like this, because I do find it's easier. So literally all you do is put your finger in the middle to hold everything down, and then lift up from your main ribbon, and then you want to literally hold everything together and then lift it up, so you've got it all in your hands. So that's what it's gonna come out as, so you've got everything in your hand. Now keeping hold of everything, making sure it doesn't move. Then from the underside, because obviously you've laid it down like that, you've now picked it up, if you flip it over, and then with the needle you want to go right through the centre of everything, keeping hold of everything. Do not let anything go at this stage. Let go of your needle, and you want to pull it through. So pull it through, obviously make sure you've knotted it beforehand, so you've still got hold of everything, still don't let everything go. Right, now you need to have quite a long piece of thread as well at this stage, because now what you're going to do is you're going to literally, still keeping hold of everything, is literally wrap the thread around and under and through the gap, and again round and through the gap. Now it's baggy at the minute, so don't worry about that, not an issue. So now carefully lay it back down again, making sure that nothing moves. If it does slightly, doesn't matter, you can fix it, they still all do move at this point. So you've got a very slack bit across the middle, needle still in your hand, and then the trick for this is to literally put your palm flat down on everything. Now I do it so that I've still got my needle and thread in my hand, and then I wrap the thread around my little finger so I can pull it, I can have tension on it. because then you hold down tight, making sure you're as tight as you can to the spikes, making sure they don't move, and then you literally pull with all your might on the thread, holding everything down. I can't stress enough how much, just to keep your hand flat underneath it, and then literally just pull, 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 and then lift, if you can still see the thread, lift the thread up, and then you can just about see that it's creased everything in. Now, just for luck, I just then wrap the thread back round and through once, just so it's meeting back in the middle. Now, it doesn't look much at the minute, so don't worry, but where you've then gone back through, then just throw in a little sort of safety stitch, just again keeping everything together. Okay. Alright, now, hold on, let me just rethread this, re-knot it before I forget. Right, so now it really doesn't look much at all. It looks rather sad and shocking, to be honest. But now basically you now turn your boat over, and you can see it is still very wonky, etc. Doesn't really look what you want it to look like. So now all you need to do is you can pull some of these in the sort of right direction of where you want to go. Separate them slightly if you want to, just to make the ones underneath come through. And then my magic tip after I've done all of that is to then glue them, because then you've gone from it looking rather separated, etc., for it to then obviously be fanned out perfectly. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of glue and just show you. Again, get your glue gun. Now I personally turn it over, and then it is literally just the tiniest dab of glue just on the inside, and then fold it on top, dab of glue, because then now you can still move them around. So if one's sort of folded over quite significantly, you can literally move the whole thing. I don't know if you can see this. So there you can see there's quite a big gap. You can literally move the whole entire thing depending on where you want it. So you could have it sitting up here, you could have it sort of close in. It's entirely up to you. So you could, at the moment you can still move them. So let me just finish off this side just quickly so you can see. So again, see, look where that one's just moved slightly. You can just glue it. So you literally need the tiniest bit of glue just to obviously have it where you want it. Now you can see the difference between the side that you've glued and then obviously the side that you haven't. So you can see there. Now obviously with my signature spikes, let me just do that quickly so again you can see the sort of before and after bit of that. So just give me 2 seconds. And then you can finish them however it is that you want to. Doing it, your cutting and stuff afterwards also helps. If you do have uneven spikes, you can just trim them up all together, so you're not then worrying about one being wonky in height compared to the other. So you can see there obviously my signature spike, you can see now the height difference between the spikes that obviously haven't been glued and then the ones that have now been finished, and also the gaps, etc. But you can now basically see like a before and after, and that is literally just with laying it down and then pulling it through and tightening it that way, rather than attempting to try and crease it by your hands. So that's how I do my spikes. I hope it helps.